My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Wow, way to just like come in super hot.
I came in hot because I know we will forget to talk or like mention it later because I have so much to say. I have 1,000 things I want to bring up today. First and foremost, I want to talk about something that was just posted on our Facebook account, and it's an article, and it says, "Woman quits her job so she
absolutely
can
fucking not."
Her boyfriend
I saw this morning.
2 hours.
No, absolutely not. I don't need. You have a mommy. I am not your mommy. Women, we cannot encourage this behavior. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like yuck anyone's yum, as we've said many times on this podcast, but I am like, I feel like this kind of that's an issue for a therapist.
I hate it. First and foremost, you have two people who clearly aren't working because every 2 hours he's getting breastfed. How are you living?
Oh my God.
How are you paying bills? What is happening right now? Listen, look, no yuck and yums here. You got a fetish? Great.
I'm glad you found somebody who was willing to,
that's right,
be there for you. But
that's right. You found a dog for your Beth. But here is the situation.
You got to be a contributing member of society.
Like, this is an off work situation. This is not a daily no worries thing. This is too much.
Yeah, I have questions. I didn't read the article, but I'm like, how are you living? Like, she quit her job.
Billion.
What does he do? Do you guys just work from home and take breaks every 2 hours? Like, what's happening right now? And I feel like, look, be into what you're into, but maybe stop and examine it every now and again. Maybe just check in with a therapist and be like, hey.
And every 2 hours? I mean, what are you, a newborn?
I can't.
I hate it so much.
I have chills. I'm not into this whole like the mommy fetish thing.
No, I'm not either. Like, why are you treating this grown man like a child?
Well, since we're talking about fetishes,
absolutely not. I know exactly what you're going to say, and I am upset.
Okay. So apparently on Amazon, they have something called the vajankle. It's a new sex toy for the foot fetish.
It looks like a fucking nightmare. It looks
okay, but here's the deal. I didn't think that people who had foot fetishes wanted to actually stick their dick inside the foot. I thought it was like an outside the foot situation.
Right.
Okay. I've seen those thumbnails on Pornhub. All right. I thought it was like a dick sandwiched between feet kind of situation, not like a inside the ankle.
It looks like a decapitated foot with a vagina attached to it. It makes absolutely
the vagina is
no
inside
sense.
the ankle. It is really distressing.
This is where vaginas are, right? You have to cut your leg off.
I have to admit that I have gone down Pornhub rabbit holes of random stuff that guys put their dick into. And I will say, as frightening as the vajankle is, it's not the weirdest thing that
elaborate, please.
No, don't. Please don't.
Been lots of foods. You can see people sticking their dick into foods. The creepiest thing I saw on Pornhub was a guy that had hollowed out like a children's doll, like a Cabbage Patch doll.
Oh, no.
That was a call, fucking 911 immediately.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
because here's the deal. Okay. Typically, even with the vajankle, as uncomfortable as that makes me, and as gross as I think it is, what you stick your dick into is none of my business.
Correct.
Like, provided you're not hurting anybody, how you get your jollies with an inanimate object, I don't really care. However,
that is frightening, right?
There's something troubling about a Cabbage Patch doll.
Mm-hmm.
Very distressed.
Yes.
I fucking hate that so much.
Yes, I would say reach for the vajankle first.
If given the choice, please go for the vajankle.
Oh my God.
Please. Yeah, well, I hate that.
Mm-hmm. And
so glad we started here.
If you want to see what that horror show looks like, you can join our Facebook group. That's the kind of fun we get into in there.
And again, I don't have any problem. Like, have a foot fetish. I actually don't even care. Buy that toy. If that really is how it works for you, look, that is literally harming zero people.
Weird,
you do
but fine.
It not for me, but you do you. Here's the thing. When it's just an inanimate object that you see, it looks gruesome.
Does.
Oh, it looks
gruesome.
And it does make me question, like, what about this does it for you? Because, like, the outside of feet, I can be like, okay, for some reason you think feet are beautiful. Right, and I'm like, fine. But, like, this isn't that. It looks like, because where the vagina is in the ankle, it looks like where, like, bone should be.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you, like, went on a date with a dude and then, like, things are going well, you go back to his place.
You go to the bathroom.
And then
you go to the bathroom, you open up the underneath of the sink because you're looking for toilet paper.
Or you're just being nosy. Let's be fucking real.
Exactly. And you see that fucking thing there?
Goodbye. I'm making up an excuse so quick to get out of there. Are you kidding me? Also, as a general rule, can I just say maybe don't keep your sex toys in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Like, keep them in the bedroom, in a drawer.
It's random.
Yeah, exactly. I'm making the case for, we've all got our freak drawer,
Sure. Yeah. If I stumble
maybe
across
she's
someone
in there, she's looking for a condom.
If I stumble across somebody's freak drawer and it has a loose foot with a vagina in it in there, I'm gonna have to nope right out of that situation.
Oh man.
I don't like it.
Wow.
Wow. Speaking of things we don't like, Eric's coworker told him this week that there are two kinds of poopers in the world.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The kind that wipe sitting down and the kind that wipe standing up.
No, there's only one way.
Apparently, there are some people that stand up to wipe.
What? Why?
I'm so thankful.
Why?
Because I'm like, I feel in my head if you stand up, then you're smearing.
You're squishing it back in.
Yes.
Like, maybe my butt is too big, but I'm like, you guys, you don't understand the size of the way my ass is set up. If I stand...
Wait, everybody's ass is set
some
up.
people have really flat asses. I don't know. Maybe it's like it doesn't work the same way. But I'm just saying, if I stand, it's pushing it back together.
Yeah, I'm like, is that
calling this fake news? Nobody stands up to wipe. That's not a thing.
You keep it spread in the seated position.
That's right.
Yeah, there's more. You can get in there and clean it better. I feel like you stand up, you're not getting all of it.
Stands up? What weird family? Again, I don't mean to judge. If this is something that happens, if you do this, please write in and let us know what the logic is there.
Yeah, I need to know. And somebody grew up like standing up to wipe.
Because parents teach their kids how to wipe.
Yeah.
So
do I recall, or was this a bad nightmare? A knife?
Yes. Oh yeah, that's what I was about to say. Did you guys? That was all over Reddit like a few years ago. Oh my God! Let me tell you the story, Christina.
Okay, it wasn't a nightmare.
Yes, it was a knife. Where this guy or a girl, I don't know who it was, the person on Reddit was like saying that they were at someone's house and they took a shit and it was like a massive shit. And then they came back out and they were like, sorry, I couldn't find your poop knife. And the guy was like, I'm sorry, what? And they're like, your poop knife. And they're like, whenever you take a big poop and then you have a knife that you keep in your bathroom to cut it in half so that you can flush it down the toilet. And they were like, what? Absolutely not. We don't have a poop knife.
No.
And then Reddit was split in half between families who had poop knives and families who didn't.
No.
I was like,
that can't fucking be real.
This is a thing, apparently.
No. Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
Are there just multitudes of people that take enormous shits, like whole family of huge shitters.
I guess so.
Question. Have you ever been in somebody's house and saw a knife?
No.
In the bathroom? That's the thing. How are you splitting down Reddit with like a 50-50 on this when I've never in my goddamn life been in a bathroom that has a fucking poop knife.
Yeah, what do? You hang it from a string on a tack?
That's what I remember them talking about. Like, I remember somebody saying it was like hung from a string.
Disgusting.
On the side of the toilet.
Also, like, how do you clean it?
Fuck out of here.
How does it stay clean? I have
in the
so many questions.
Dishwasher.
And I just am horrified by humanity with the entire opening of this episode. Well, I mean, does your family have a poop knife, listener? Please let us know. I'm very curious about the way that other people live.
Or is it the same people that poop and then wipe stand up?
Oh my God.
And as they're standing, they take the poop knife and they cut their poop in half.
No.
If you're taking shits that are that big, you absolutely should not be standing up to wipe. You should not. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wow. Wowie, wow. That's
so I had a weird thought yesterday that I want to share with you guys. Since we're talking about things that not everybody does. Chris and I were in the car and for some reason got stuck in my head the Pink Floyd song Wish You Were Here. And I fucking love that song. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, I love Pink Floyd, just T to B. But I was like, I said to Chris, I said, when you were like 15 or 16, did you also have a song that you told all your friends you have to play this song at my funeral because you were certain you're probably going to die before you're 30?
Oh my God.
Cool.
Just you.
No, I mean...
And my badass friends.
I think maybe I had planned my funeral. You know what I did, which I think I've talked about on this podcast before. I didn't plan my funeral so much as I planned my Dateline episode.
I had a montage.
I pictured it. Yeah, I pictured like what pictures would be used, that slow piano music, the way Keith Morrison was going to describe my beautiful life. You know, like I thought about that stuff.
Lit up the room.
Keegan Winfield was beautiful.
Oh man,
friend.
Listening to the
Dateline
podcast has been real interesting because they say some shit that I feel like doesn't hit you as hard when you're watching the show, but when you're listening to it, you're like, what the fuck? Like I was listening to one of them, and it was Keith Morrison. And it was a dad, and he was talking about his daughter and like how she was like his butterfly. And then Keith Morrison came in and said, and now that butterfly is dead. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, who wrote that and was like, that's okay. That's okay to include in Dateline.
Wow. Keith
awful.
Morrison is, he almost at times like, I'm like, is he making fun of these people? Like he almost seems like sometimes I almost catch him where I'm like, he's making fun of these people.
I don't even know if
he's sly
is or if it's just the way he talks. Like there's just something about the cadence of his voice. I'm not sure. But I did love it. Last Christmas, the Dateline podcast released episodes that were just Keith Morrison reading like Christmas stories, like he did How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yes.
And I actually listened to it and it was wonderful.
Oh, he's a treasure for sure.
It was beautiful.
Absolute treasure. So here's the question then. If you had a song that you were going to pick out for a 16-year-old you to tell all your friends,
it would have been In My Life
funeral.
by the Beatles, 100%. At 16.
That was my wedding song, you bitch.
You asked.
That's awesome. Dude, 16-year-old me?
But it is a great song.
Oh my gosh.
I do have it tattooed on me, for Christ's sake.
Mine would probably be at 16, it would be Subterranean Homesick Alien by Radiohead.
Perfect.
Yeah. I was and still am totally obsessed with Radiohead. In fact, I know we all do this, like in the shower, like you have conversations, you finish arguments, you sing. I I make up situations.
Finish arguments.
In the shower sometimes. Like, this was just yesterday. I was in the shower and I was pretending that I was auditioning to be in Radiohead with Tom York and we were singing together.
Amazing. Oh, fucking amazing.
Do you guys play pretend in the shower? Or is that just me?
No.
I absolutely do. I play pretend all the time. I play pretend all the time. If I'm home alone and, you know, I could start a whole pretend situation with the mirror. I really could.
Me too. I do that shit
done it
all the time. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Dude, when
Quar has done some really weird stuff to us. Just kidding. This is just real life.
Yeah, this was before quarantine. This is... I'll have whole fucking conversations in the shower for a made-up fucking situation that is literally never going to happen.
I don't do it in the shower.
Yes.
I don't do it in the shower. I like Keegan can also anywhere, but I don't know why. I feel like I do
it less in the shower now because I'm always listening to podcasts when I take showers. Like showers and gardening are my podcast listening time now that I'm not like commuting. So I'm always listening to podcasts in the shower now, which keeps me mentally busy. But before, whenever I was just like taking showers, listening to the sound of the water, there is something about that like white noise of the shower that facilitates good make-believe.
Oh, yes, absolutely. My best make-believes are in the shower, 100%. I've had some good ones.
So soothing.
And my podcast time, actually, I took the day off yesterday and I have wireless headphones and a fucking pool floaty. I was in the pool for hours yesterday.
I'm really jealous because
podcasts and fucking floating on the pool, drinking some White Claws. It was phenomenal.
I'm jealous. My pool has been closed. And so I've been listening to podcasts outside on my balcony, but then I started to feel kind of bad because like everybody is spending more time on their balconies, including my neighbors, that means. And so I was out there just listening to Case File, like full volume, talking about like cutting people up and putting them down the drain. And I was like,
Case File.
I was like, maybe I should turn this down. My neighbors are like, excuse me.
You're like, it's a lesson. It's a course I'm taking. Don't worry about it.
Have you ever felt that way? Like when you go through the drive-thru and you're listening to like a brutal true crime podcast. I'm like, turn it down really fast before I roll my window down to get my food.
Inevitably, I'll be listening to like our podcast or like MFM, and they're always talking about something like sexual or something. So it's like full volume, and I'm like, I'll have a number 2, and it's like anal and cocaine, and I'm like, no.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of fast food, I have to tell you guys this. So I had a hard week this week. This week has been a tough week for me. And I was I was like, fuck all of this. I'm taking a bath. Like, whatever. I'm getting in the bath. So I got in the bath and I was like in there for a while. And Anthony had like left. And then he came back and he had a box of donuts and Taco Bell for me.
Yes.
He surprised me with Taco Bell and donuts, and I cried.
Yep.
I cried in the bathtub.
You should marry him.
Those are the best. And we've talked about it before. Like, get you a fucking guy that is going to just think it's not the big stuff. It's never the big stuff that really gets into your heart and is the stuff that melts you. It's little things like that. You know, like when Eric will go to the grocery store by himself and come back with salt and vinegar chips, you know, and some flowers. Yeah. It's just like, it's so little and it's so cute, but the kind of person that's going to take that extra effort for you or think about you when they're not around you, it's fucking beautiful. That's love.
Yeah, and can recognize if you're having like a hard time.
Yeah.
And can think of something to do that will make you feel like a little bit better.
Dude, now I want Taco Bell. I haven't had Taco Bell in a minute.
I was just thinking this.
Did not regret it at all. Would recommend. 10/10. Would recommend.
No regrets.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You know what? We should fuck, marry, kill fast food.
Yes.
We've never done that.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm choosing
That's
Taco
good.
Bell because I have to.
I'm
But
choosing McD's, man.
classic.
Cool.
Okay.
The Golden
Okay.
Arches.
Like Wendy's or Burger King.
Well, we're from Columbus, Ohio, the birthplace of
I
Wendy's.
know.
And
I know. And Dave Thomas.
I told you I have an autographed
I know.
Dave Thomas.
They
picture.
bring their own unique, like both Burger King and Wendy's offers different things. They bring different things to the table.
Yeah.
I used to have nightmares
I love Burger King's
about
fries.
the Burger King. Like he would like crawl.
I hate
and
that
chase
mascot. I don't like that mascot.
It's horrible.
I find him creepy.
Well, the McDonald's mascots are pretty fucking creepy too. If I'm honest, the Grimace, fucking Grimace. Jesus,
He is creepy.
He's like scary Barney.
Okay, I think that I owe it to my hometown to go to Wendy's.
Good choice.
Yeah.
I do like Burger King fries better and that damn chicken sandwich, but
But you know what? Wendy's has a
Look at
pretty good
Wendy's.
chicken sandwich. I usually get their spicy
dude, that
chicken
number
sandwich.
one all day.
Hmm?
Yeah.
One all day with cheese.
What's the number one at Wendy's?
It's just the single
Burger?
It's
That-
that square burger.
The single with
Mm-hmm.
cheese.
I used
So fucking
to
good.
okay, so back in the 90s, to the younger listeners, back in the 90s, parents just kind of let their kids run around and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So I was like 9 or so, and I had a Razor scooter. And I lived in Las Vegas, and me and my friends would Razor scooter probably like 3 miles or so to Wendy's on our own at like 9 years old. And so we felt very independent
Wow.
at this time. And so I would always go and get the bacon cheeseburger because it was like $2
Yeah.
or whatever.
So good.
I would get the bacon cheeseburger with like a shit ton of packs of ketchup. And then we would just get waters and just put packs of sugar.
Sugar
Just
water?
Sugar water. Just sugar water.
Oh my
Because we could go and like eat for like $2, like
Yeah.
literally $2. And I felt so sophisticated. So,
You could just live your own life. I mean, honestly, you might as well have just moved out. At
I
that
know,
point. You could
honestly,
really raise
that's
yourself.
how I felt. I could take care of myself completely.
I
That's right.
used to feel fancy at Wendy's when I was a kid, and I used to go because I would get the baked potato there.
Oh, yes. Back in the day, they used to have a potato bar, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They had melted
And a
cheese
salad
and
bar.
shit.
Yep.
Yes. No longer.
Dude, do you guys remember Rax?
Oh, yeah. I do remember Rax was the shit. Rax was like if Arby's was good.
Oh, I've never been there.
Oh.
Rax.
Amen. That cheese, that melted cheese was chef's
Yeah.
Also,
kiss.
hot take, I don't think Arby's is that bad.
like
I'm
Arby's.
fine with Arby's, but like if you remember Rax was what was up. That shit was delicious.
That might have been in
I
Ohio.
think
Did
so.
you guys ever have
If I-
rallies?
Oh yeah.
Of
Rallies was
course.
delicious.
Rally fries. In the South, it was called Checkers.
Oh, really? It's the same place.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Okay.
We've gotten off
All right,
topic.
fuck, marry,
So
kill.
fuck, marry, kill, Wendy's, McDonald's, Taco Bell.
Ooh. All right.
Tis a tough call.
tough.
That is really tough. You know what? I gotta fuck Taco Bell. I gotta fuck it because I mean it's
Yep.
spicy. It's fucking
Yeah.
there's a lot of variety and it's just like I feel like fucking Taco Bell will be the most fun.
I agree.
it's gonna be a good
I
night.
agree. Yeah. There's
Same.
enough variety that you can do whatever you want.
I'm going to marry Wendy's because Wendy's has been
Yeah.
always fresh. It's a hometown thing. It's stable. It's been consistent. They don't do like a whole bunch of like random bullshit on their menu or like it's been the same menu forever. Steady
Eddie.
Exactly. Reliable. And fucking, Dave Thomas.
Frosties.
Charitable, too. And they're charitable.
Mhm.
I love a Frosty, too. I'm a big Frosty fan.
Oh, for
And guess whose Frosty machines don't go down?
exactly. The Wendy's.
Wendy's.
And then-
And you got to dip them fries in
and
it.
then McDonald's to me is just kind of symbolizes like everything I don't like about capitalism. And as much as like I will kill you for McDonald's French fries, they're just the best. It's still like it's bad for me. I feel it's bad for the environment. I feel like it's a toxic marriage. I wouldn't be happy in a marriage with McDonald's.
I feel like McDonald's is a toxic relationship in that, like, it keeps you It's like that really shitty dude who fucks you really well, and so like you keep coming back when you know
but does not clean his house.
and he asks you for $20 every time before he leaves. Like he's that person.
Or he'll be like, you want to split this bill or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's just like he's like, oh shit, I forgot my wallet though.
Yeah, but you keep coming back because he's a fuckboy. Like McDonald's is a fuckboy. Like that's what it is. It's like you keep coming back.
It's that damn breakfast.
He keeps sending you up texts.
Yep.
And despite yourself, filled with shame, you do it anyway.
Yep.
It's that goddamn breakfast sandwich.
Goddamn it, McDonald's breakfast, man. I could give up everything else from McDonald's, including the fries, I think.
Really?
But the breakfast,
any day.
like
sausage biscuit, man. Oh my god.
Goddamn.
So good.
The hash browns.
Sausage egg McMuffin.
Come on.
The hash browns.
And I'm sorry,
so
you
good.
know
Guys.
that they have the best Coke and Diet Coke. Like, because they have a proprietary, like, formula. And so, like, you can only get...
there's real cocaine in their Coke.
Yes.
That's for sure.
That's
because
right.
it is more addictive.
Proprietary.
And so I would say, I'm going to have to kill McDonald's, but it is hard. When I'm eating it, I feel it destroying my body. Like,
Yes.
I know that that's what's happening, and I just have to set that aside in my brain.
Yeah.
And it will hurt me. I'll grieve the loss. But I'm going to go ahead and kill McDonald's. Man, I feel like I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to marry Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that it will be a wild, wild marriage. Probably not always the best marriage, but I keep going back to Taco Bell. I think it's meant to be.
Yes.
For me.
Yeah.
I think
Soulmates,
I just
really.
can't quit. I just can't quit you, Taco Bell.
I can't quit you.
So, and also they have the most of all fast food chains. They have the most meatless options.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm feeling good about that. A lot of my friends who are like vegetarians still eat at Taco Bell. So yeah, I'm going to marry Taco Bell. And then I'll fuck Wendy's. Wendy's will be like a good down home.
Dickin'.
Yeah.
Dickin'.
Yeah.
Good old dick down.
I like that.
Dude, Wendy's, like, fucking Wendy's makes me think of, like, how that couple in the Lifetime movie fuck. Do you know what I mean? Where I'm like, flannel shirt fucking.
Yes, yeah. For some reason, we're on a bale of hay. I don't know why.
I don't
it can't
know why.
be comfortable.
No.
But you
And it's
do it
just
anyway.
like deep, slow, down home fucking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're going to have Frosties afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do.
I hate it. This sounds terrible. I definitely don't want a Lifetime fucking. Sounds like the most boring thing I've ever heard in my life. But I am definitely going to fuck some Taco Bell. That's my
Taco Bell
up.
will like tie you up.
Yes.
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
They'll cover your
Yeah.
body in hot sauce.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's going to be spicy.
Muy
It's going to be
caliente.
very, very. Exactly.
And Taco Bell has a sense of humor. Have you seen the hot sauce
Yep.
packets?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Man. I am going to marry Wendy's. I'm not going to love that down home.
I was just
dickin',
going to
but
say,
I
I'm
am
shocked that you're not going to marry McD's because I feel like McD's is probably like Wall Street
McD's
broker.
has nothing to offer me.
I feel like
I don't
McD's
know.
got
I do.
money.
I feel of the three of them, McD's is the richest one.
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
McD's is going to private
And you know
fly
what?
you places.
God damn it. Way to ruin
I'm sorry.
it.
I'm
That's
sorry.
the truth.
I'm like, we know you, Cassie. I'm like, you would be way happier in a marriage with McDonald's than
you don't want to be in a
Wendy's.
flannel covered marriage with Wendy's, but I mean, maybe you do. Wendy's is great.
Wendy's, McDonald's ain't got nothing to offer me but breakfast.
That's true.
You're right about that.
I mean, he might be rich, but I will only see him for 5 minutes in the morning.
Yeah.
That's it. Every day.
But then, yeah, you got your lover. You've got your Taco Bell lover on the side. So,
correct.
I mean,
this is true.
We're not trying to force you into a marriage with McDonald's. I just thought we'd throw out the possibility.
I really want to marry Wendy's, though. I don't see Wendy's as the flannel covered fuck up.
I didn't say they were a fuck up. I like it.
Well, that's how I pictured it. That's what it turned into in my head. I don't see Wendy's that way. Like, to me, Wendy's is steady Eddie that I get, like, that I can get behind. And I think that he's just going to be like, I don't know. If I was going to make Chris one of these brands, I think Chris is Wendy's.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Steady
I
Eddie.
agree with that.
Doesn't get too hyped or too...
Wendy's
is
like gonna let you sleep in,
reliable.
and when you wake
That's
up,
right.
Wendy's will have
The
fixed
dishes
your
are
plumbing. Like, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy's will have brought you coffee in bed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right about
That's right.
Well, I like that. That was good.
that. Fun.
What an open, huh?
You guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with stories?
Yes. And we're back.
All right, I'm going to kick us off. I cannot wait for my crazy in love. I'm very excited. We will have so much to say about it. Anywho, this story comes from Reddit. I remember Valentine's Day 2019 like it was yesterday because of one particular couple. Background is that I'm a bartender at a chain pub in the UK. So basically we serve pub grub. We have the head chef named Mike joke, and our main clientele is our regulars who usually only want pints of bitter. Also important to note that out of 50-ish tables, we only have one booth and everyone wants to use it. So Valentine's Day 2019, we have quite a few bookings, including some for the booth. So that table is booked pretty much solidly all night. It would be a case of couples finishing food, table gets cleaned, and the next couple seated. So it gets to be about 9 p.m. and this couple walks in. He asks to be seated in the booth and is told that it's booked all night. He gets a bit pissy about that and asks for a nice table and if they can have table service. Dude, this is a city center chain pub. There aren't any nice tables, LOL.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Why? If this is your priority, there are a million other options. And if you couldn't think ahead to make a reservation at a nice place on Valentine's Day, that sounds like a you problem.
Exactly.
That's right.
His date says she's going to the toilet and walks off. He then proceeds to explain that he's planning on proposing and wants it to be special. Again, dude is expecting big things from this place, but we don't say anything except we can set him up a table in a closed off area, and one of my coworkers manages to find a really tacky tablecloth, fills an empty Orangina bottle with fake flowers, and sets them out some cutlery.
No, that's worse than if it was just regular. Like, that's worse. You know what I mean?
Now you have this weird...
Did they, like, fucking meet there or something?
Is this the Boxcar Children? Like, that's what it evokes in me. Is, like, I remember that vividly reading the Boxcar Children, and that's what they would do. They're like, we went and found a blanket that we're using as a tablecloth and an empty can for these flowers. And I'm like, absolutely not.
No, not for the proposal.
On the side of the road.
This is already above and beyond what normally happens since you get your own cutlery at this place. We also don't usually do table service, but the boss wanted to make a good impression, I guess, so I get that task for the night. I go over to take their order, and she says she'd like a sirloin steak. Before I can ask her how she'd like it cooked, he interrupts and asks her to get something off of the 2-for-1 menu.
Honey.
No.
She looks pissed. Clearly, this is strike 2 for this guy, and it's going terribly. She asks why he didn't tell her that before she looked at the menu, and he said, You know I like to save money. Why would tonight be any different?
Oh my God.
She looks like she's about to walk out, so I offer to give them a few minutes and take my leave. Honestly, just kind of glad to be out of there. I go back after a few more minutes and they order off the 2-for-1 menu. Food comes out quickly. They eat and then he orders a bottle of Prosecco. Since it's Valentine's Day, we really pushed the boat out and put a strawberry in the glasses, LOL.
Oh, man.
Oh, I really wonder if they're actually served in champagne flutes or if it's just like
plastic cups.
A glass. No, just a glass. Like a big fucking pint glass. Exactly.
Then comes the big moment. I'm just going over to see if they like dessert, and I see him going to get down on one knee. So I grab another waitress on shift, and we're watching from the corner.
Oh, I love him so much. He went and got somebody to go watch the tea spill.
I know. That's hero behavior. So we're watching.
He's like, I want to share this.
We're watching from the corner, and this is where he makes his final mistake. 2019 is the year that Poundland released a placeholder engagement ring. For those of you that haven't seen one, the ring comes in a red heart-shaped box that is inside a bigger square plastic box. He made the rookie mistake of not only leaving the ring box in the plastic box, but also leaving the big black price sticker on there that said £1.
Whoa. Everybody, pause.
What?
First of all,
wait,
what is Poundland? Is this a dollar store? Secondly,
it sounds like it's like Dollar Tree, only it's like their Dollar Tree.
Is a placeholder engagement ring.
It's not a bad thing.
But here's the deal with this whole thing, and this is what I was going to say before even got to the ring. If you wanted a special night, like, think ahead. There's nothing wrong with saving money. There's nothing wrong with living within your means. You absolutely should do all of those things. But if you knew you were going to propose and you knew you wanted it to be special, you should have thought ahead several months, save money, set money aside for the date, and also for the ring.
That's what I'm saying. When we talked about earlier, like the kind of guy that's like, oh, Keegan had a bad day and like goes out and gets donuts and Taco Bell. It's like that kind of guy is not going to do that kind of proposal. Do you know what I mean? Like, if this is somebody that you love, that you weren't asking to spend your life together, it's like a big moment, and it sounds like he couldn't even be bothered. He stopped by a Dollar Tree,
and didn't take the tag off. Honey, like, you didn't even have enough forethought to. I can't trust you with my life for the rest of my. You want me to commit to you for the rest of my life, and you couldn't think ahead long enough to save for our date and take the tag off this ring.
She asked if he was serious. He said yes. She asked if the ring was from Poundland. He said yes. She asked if it's a placeholder ring so that she can choose her own later. He said no. She asked why he would propose with a Poundland ring.
So is the placeholder... All right, I understand better now. So the placeholder ring is designed because more women are wanting to have a say in their engagement rings. Right. Okay. That concept is fine with me. Yes. That's an okay concept. But he's saying this ring that cost me $1, this bubblegum fucking ring that I got...
That's going to turn your finger fucking green. Immediately.
Yes. Immediately. This is your ring that I want you to wear for the rest of your life?
Oh, yeah. He said, you know I like to save money.
Oh, God. We're breaking up. I'm sorry. I can't.
She picked up her wine glass and walked out of the pub. I did not stop her taking the glass.
You can have it, ma'am. You've been through enough. That's yours now. And I guess that answers that question. They served the Prosecco in a wine glass.
Yeah,
great.
There you go.
Honey, like, I mean...
Goodbye.
Okay. And listen, I
found an article about Poundland sells 40,000 engagement rings ahead of Valentine's Day. So I have pictures of these.
Please show me.
Tragic monstrosities.
Oh, honey.
I mean, it looks fake.
I can't really. Is it like a sapphire situation?
Can you see?
Oh, no.
They're $1. Oh, those are definitely plastic.
Fake. Oh, they look fake as fuck.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh,
I hate
man.
that. I hate it so
That's horrible.
much.
I had to see what this Poundland bullshit.
To be honest, I was actually
Nonsense
expecting it to be
was.
worse. Because did you guys ever see that?
Yeah.
Did you see that Reddit post that was like, that my guy proposed to me and is pissed off that I don't like the ring and I want to get a new ring? And everybody at first is like, yeah, you're the asshole, whatever. But then she's like, nah, look at this ring. And it was literally like, it was a giant, it was probably like an inch big. And it was like a heart-shaped like topaz or something. It was like horrifying.
And then everyone was like, nah, you're
They're like,
right.
you're in the right. He has no right to be this mad about this. I'll try and find a picture of that for you guys. But yeah, I have no problem with people who don't want to spend a lot of money on stuff all the time. Like, that's fine.
Sure.
I care more about like who you are as a person more than like what you make or what you're spending or like anything like that. But to have absolutely no regard for the fact that like you're asking somebody to commit a lifetime to you, that's a really big deal. And then you're also giving her a piece of jewelry that is expected to last a lifetime.
Exactly.
Like,
you're
you're
supposed
supposed
that piece
to.
of jewelry is going to last a day if you're lucky. The first time you wash your hands, like that fucking cheap foil coating will come off of it.
And
you know?
women should also have a say in a piece of jewelry that is going to be hopefully on their finger forever.
Yeah.
They should have a say. They should be allowed to have a say. We should remove the stigma
Exactly.
from that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I picked out my own ring. No regrets.
I already told Cassie what I want, so I can,
I already got it.
Yeah.
I'm on it. All right. So mine is from an email that we got, and it says, "Hey ladies, I've been debating on whether to send this story, but I've had too much time on my hands lately, so I'm going to submit it." So my sister and I we're about 1 year apart. 1 year. I can't words. So we do everything together. We also had an extremely strict parents and went to an all-girls Catholic school because the idea of having a seemingly perfect family was much more important to my parents than happy kids. I won't dive too deep into my weird childhood, but knowing how crazy they were is important to the story. So we shared a bedroom and were literally not allowed out of the house. If it wasn't for a school activity or to go to a girlfriend's house that my parents had met and approved of, and weren't allowed to date until we were no longer under their roof.
Nah, that's not going to work out.
That's long
crazy.
time. I don't have a problem with parents setting boundaries. Like, and I actually, as an adult, I am like, okay, your house, your rules. I get that, but till you leave their home,
you should actually. I feel like, and this is me like dipping my toe in where I have no fucking experience or anything. But here's my thought. Wouldn't you want your kid to date once they turn like 15 or 16 and they're still in the house and they can come to you and they can talk to you and you can help them? Dating is really hard and it's tricky, and you can be there for them emotionally and help them to learn how to date safely. And
That's right.
I just feel like you would want to be involved as a parent in setting them up like that.
And the other thing you're asking
totally
for
agree.
in a situation like this is for them to move out as soon as possible. If that's the rule, is like, I can't date anybody until I'm out of your house. Well, I'm not going to take that gap year and hang out here at home.
Yeah.
I'm getting the fuck out at 17. You know?
You're lucky that they don't like sneak out and fucking get knocked up, and that's how you get like grandbabies. You know what I mean?
Like the truth. Well, but strict parents make sneaky kids. So of course this didn't stop us.
There you go.
There you go. We had carefully orchestrated routine for sneaking out of the house. Our bedroom window was right above the roof to our porch, so we would jump out the window and be right on the roof. So she would then lower me down. My sister would then lower me down to the ground, then hang off the roof, and I would grab her. To get back in, we did the same thing, just in reverse. I hoisted her up on the roof. Then she'd pull me up while I was climbing up the column to get back in. Also, I was going to cosmetology classes at night, so we took mannequin heads and put them on our beds just in case. It was genius. Flawless. Worked every time. We never once
That's
got
some
caught.
Escape from Alcatraz shit.
Right? Some Dufresne.
Those are also some naive parents. If you're going to be that strict, man, you better go check. Like,
they look in, they're like, I see heads, we're good. One day, I was 15 or 16, and a boy had asked me out for the first time. I got all dressed up, felt so cute, snuck out of the house, and walked a few blocks down to the end of the road to where our friends with less strict parents were waiting to pick us up. We were meeting at a, quote, club called The Rocking Chair, which is literally the worst name for anything with a party atmosphere, but it didn't stop us from going. It was supposed to be a club without the drinks for people under 18.
Under 18,
but it was basically
clubs
just like
are so sad. There's nothing worse. There and like every town has one of those.
Yeah. Let's drink Diet Coke and like dance to Nelly.
Oh God, yes,
real life. Except I would be so stoned by the time I made it there, so it didn't matter. This is why I had a song for my funeral. Stoner. All right. Boo, 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 boo. We met Danny Smith, not his real name, and his friends outside, and he looked so happy to see me. He told me how hot I looked and introduced me to all of his friends. We were dancing and having a blast. I was thinking, this is the best night ever. He bought me a soda and started asking about my school and what sports I play. I met him at the rec center, which is where I would run the trails, and he was practicing baseball with his dad. I told him that I did dance, but not for my school. It was a competition dance, and he told me that's how that's not considered a sport.
I hate him already.
Okay. Thanks, mansplainer.
Well, that
Boy
shit
splainer.
always pissed me off because I did cheerleading and everyone was always like, it's not a sport. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
People aren't saying that now with
I want to see you do a herky
fucking show on Netflix.
Yeah. Have you seen competitive cheerleading or competitive dance? Like the shit that those people put their bodies through. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And even if you feel that way, why the fuck would you say that to someone? It is so rude.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's high school boy for you. We danced a bit and even a slow dance, and he said he was getting hot, so he went outside with his friends to cool off. My friend Sarah noticed that he'd been gone for a while, so we went looking for him. We opened the back door and heard him talking to his friends about how he was dating me even though I was chubby because his dick isn't going to suck itself. And Catholic girls are way freaky. Plus, I was a dancer, so he wanted to see how flexible I could get.
Can I tell you, like, if I had overheard that when I was that age, it would have absolutely destroyed me. Like, just knowing the fucking crippling body image issues I already had inside my own head, having that confirmed by somebody that I had a crush on would have killed me.
Forget it.
Especially the first time someone asked you out. Mm-hmm. And oh my God, if I ever have a son and I ever find out that he is talking like this, I will lose my fucking shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Okay, so I had never considered myself fat until this point, which is exactly what you're saying, Christina. Like, a lot of people don't even have body image issues or even think about these things until some jackoff is like, "Oh, she's fat."
Yep.
What? Sarah grabbed my arm, pulled me inside, stuck her head out the door, and screamed, "You don't have to worry about anyone sucking your dick, Danny Smith, because everyone knows you have genital warts."
Snaps for Sarah.
So many people outside, and all of them were staring at him. This was a small town, and everyone knew who he was. My group of friends had a code phrase, which was "giraffes at the zoo," that we used when we needed to leave a situation immediately. Usually, we would work it into a sentence like, "We should go see the giraffes at the zoo this weekend." But Sarah went to the DJ booth and asked for the mic, which he reluctantly handed over to her.
Gosh, she must have been an intimidating 16-year-old. She's like, "Give me the mic."
Give me the mic. The giraffes at the fucking zoo.
Sarah 2020, man. Dude, we need a boss bitch like that.
Damn right. God. Anyway, we went to the car, and Danny kept trying to apologize, saying that he really liked me,
off,
but
Danny.
he was just trying to look cool in front of his friends.
And you know what? I bet that's true. I bet that's true. I understand that, like, boys are under whatever kind of, like, pressure to be that, like, toxic machismo whatever. I get that, but, like, still.
But now you
learned your lesson,
you
and she doesn't owe you shit.
And I really do hope that that kind of toxic locker room, all boys talk that way kind of shit has gone away or is going away.
I think it slowly is changing. I do think it's changing. I think that there are lots of guys out there who check their friends now. And I think that that's what it takes. I think it takes, like, if you hear your friend talking like that, you put a stop to it.
Well, and honestly, like, if you're going to do it for no other reason, do it because it will absolutely get you more pussy to be respectful. You will get so much more pussy.
You're going to get so laid.
By being like a fucking
The bar
woke
is
feminist.
so low.
Exactly.
All you have to do is be decent.
Just be nice.
Like,
be nice.
Seriously.
Exactly.
Honestly,
right.
it's really as easy as just being nice.
Imagine. We went there we are. He begged me to stay and hang out. Sarah threatened to run him over if he didn't move, so he gave up. We spent the rest of the night drinking milkshakes and talking shit on Danny. Sarah and Jess, who went to the same school as him, were promising to spread the genital warts rumor all over.
Bless. Sister solidarity. Hi. Girls supporting girls.
Danny called and texted for a few weeks, but no response. He finally gave up. He randomly messaged me on Facebook last year and told me I looked great. I'm pretty, so I said, not bad for a chubby girl. And said, he's like, you were never chubby. You just had curves that I wasn't ready for at the time.
Fuck
but
off.
Now I'm ready.
Oh, I hate him.
I laughed and said, well, I'm engaged now. And he said, well, if that doesn't work out, you should give me a call. By the way, dude is an amateur douche and is not hot. I remember the car ride with my friends more than what Danny said, but I'll never forget that this is the moment that made me so insecure for years. Over one stupid thing one stupid boy said. Sarah is still my best friend. These girls are still my core tribe of friends. And we also still use the phrase giraffes at the zoo as a code phrase. And because of this date, we refer to every shitty date or relationship as he wasn't worth sneaking out for.
There you go.
Oh, I love that. He wasn't worth sneaking out for. That's right.
Yeah.
Assess your risk.
That's right. She says, love you ladies. Your podcast is the best one I've listened to. And during this quarantine, I've listened to a lot. Keep it awesome.
Yay. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, guys, are you ready? Because we have not had a story like this in a minute.
Oh,
Prepare yourselves.
Okay.
Oh, I am strapped in.
I went to a small engineering college, and there were like 9 girls in my program, one of which was extremely hot and very cool. I was neither, but can be funny, and I use that to my advantage.
Aw,
you know I like a funny guy.
Oh, yeah.
Over the course of 6 months, I slowly woo her to the point where I'm fairly confident that she will say yes upon asking her out. This was in the 90s, by the way, when you still had to manually ask girls out. Manually. A few more weeks go by, and I finally ask her out, and she accepts. I'm completely smitten with this girl. Aww. I pick her up at her sorority house, which is an awkward deal if you've never done it before, because a dozen girls answer the door to check you out. I love that. The girl's like, we're going to run you down. We're going to assess.
Yeah.
Like,
sounds right.
She's not home.
Yeah. Actually, we've decided.
Yeah.
I take her to the best restaurant I can find / afford, and so far, everything is going great.
Best Applebee's meal ever.
Because they're in college, so for sure.
Right.
I order a bowl of soup of the day and an entree. She orders something inconsequential to the story. As you can guess, the soup du jour is black bean soup. The waiter is this much more
No.
This waiter is much more attractive than me. He's a late 20s guy who is obviously scoping my date and subtly flirting with her. So my machismo is activated. So much so that when the waiter suggests I order a cup of soup versus a bowl, as their bowls are, quote, very large, I take it as a shot across the bow of my fragile masculinity and insist that I can handle the bowl.
Dude,
oh no, but can your bowels?
He just tried to help you out, bro. He was like,
oh, son,
don't get the bowl.
He's like, what, you think I need a cup like a pussy? How dare you?
How dare you? I'm a bowl man, not a cup.
Bowl man.
So the bowl is delivered,
different than
and it's
spoon
more
man.
of a tureen. You easily could have fed a family of 4 with leftovers, but now my dumbass has to not only finish it, but do so acting like it's normal to eat a gallon of soup, as I made a big deal of it.
A gallon of bean
I
soup.
eat the soup, and I'm already Thanksgiving stuffed when they bring out my entree, which I obviously have to eat as well, or admit to the handsome waiter and my date that I'm an idiot with such a fragile ego that I can't take an obvious suggestion.
Oh my God. This is fucking perfect.
Despite my obvious physical discomfort, my date cannot seem to tell that I am so uncomfortable that I may explode from either end at any instant. Furthermore, as I get up to use the bathroom, my date asks if we can stop by her sorority house on the way to our movie so she can pick up a sweater for the cold theater. Despite the obvious, I say, no problem, and we get up to leave. As I'm walking to the car, I get what feels like a knife to my belt line, followed by a gurgling noise as 8 pounds of shit are transferred from my intestines to my colon. I'm still not worried though, as we drive to her place, as it's like 5 minutes to the theater. We get to her sorority house, and she asks if I need to come inside for anything. I would like to think she wanted to fool around, but I think she has now picked up on my situation, probably from my profuse sweating and silence.
Oh, no.
No, I'm fine. And she heads inside to get her coat and do God knows what else, because she's in there for what feels like an hour. Then another sharp pain. Another gurgle. Oh, no. I have now sweat literally through my clothes.
He left. Please tell
as
me
I realize I have to shit, and I have to shit now. I get up and run to the front door, which isn't helping my situation any, as I desperately scramble to fling open the front door to the sorority house. Locked, of course. It's too late. I run around the side of the house, drop trowel, and proceed to shit my brains out, pressing my back hard against the side of the building in an attempt to keep from contaminating myself. I was not successful.
Oh, no.
You shit on my house.
You shit on my
Oh my God. Though I immediately felt physically better as I put myself back together, I realized in sheer terror that both my shoes and lower parts of my pants have been splattered. I start putting together a plan of action. Run to the car, run home, explain later. When as I'm heading to my car, spot my date sitting patiently in the passenger seat.
Oh no. Oh no.
No.
Somehow, on the spot, I came up with what I thought at the time was a brilliant excuse, that I also had to stop by my house to change as I stepped in dog shit while relieving myself on the side of her sorority house. No. She spared me from having to explain why I could not wait to use the bathroom at the theater. I assume she was distracted by the horrible odor in the car, but more likely she knew the truth.
Oh, no.
Whatever the case, this angel did not make me elaborate on anything, and we had a great time for the rest of the evening.
No. Until she got home and saw that there was shit splattered.
God.
How is there cheating? Go home and get shit splattered all over the side of that fucking house.
God.
You shit on my house.
Dude, some landscaper is going to have a very bad day.
Yes, he's calling. He's like, get the power washer. I'm not touching this.
Oh my God.
Black bean soup shit all over the side of the house.
Oh my God. An entire fucking big ass bowl of it too. Oh my God.
And ate an entree. Sir.
Oh my
God. The soup is
Yikes.
a side. There's no shame in getting the cup.
Yeah. Oh my God. Fucking hilarious. Well, are you guys ready? Because I've got a juicy crazy in love for today.
That's not the words
ready.
I want to hear right after that story.
Okay. Oh, juicy. Yeah, exactly. I have to see who recommended this because somebody actually wrote in and asked if we had done this. And I was struggling this week trying to think of like a crazy in love and just
I know what you're doing.
Yes.
It's a good one.
It is a good one. Okay, it's Whitney Slaughter. So big shout out and thank you for the story. I cannot believe we haven't done it because it is a seminal story.
So good.
It's the story of Betty Broderick.
Okay, so I know they're doing a show on this, but I know nothing about the story.
So this is going to be Dirty John season 2. Amanda Peet is going to be playing Betty Broderick. I'm so fucking excited.
Fucking love
Also,
Amanda Peet.
LA Times is going to be releasing a podcast called It Was Simple. I listened to the trailer for it. Fucking sounds like Chef's Kiss podcast.
Oh, hell yeah. Do you know when that's coming out?
Can't wait.
I need a new true crime podcast.
Yeah, I subscribed, but they've only released the thing, so I don't know when it's going to come out.
What was it called again?
It Was Simple. The Betty Broderick murders.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be like a series that's going to go like really into depth. So if you like the thumbnail that I'm giving you, you can subscribe to that, and I'm sure it's going to be freaking amazing. But for me, I listened to like the Female Criminal podcast episode about her. I watched like an American Justice about it. And so yeah, that's where I'm getting most of my information, but we'll start from there. Okay. So let me pull up my notes here. I even took notes. I know.
Look at you.
Okay.
Fancy.
Okay.
Fancy.
So Elizabeth Ann Buscaglia was born in 1947 to a big Catholic family. She was the third child of 6, and her family was well off. Like, they were taken care of. They had maids. They had, like, she just grew up being, like, a very upper class kind of person, and it was imposed upon her early by her mom that, like, your goal in life is to marry a nice Catholic man who's going to make a living, and you are going to be a wife and mother. Like, that's the life that you have. That's the only dreams that you get to have. That's what life is supposed to be. You're supposed to be a good wife and mom to somebody that's going to pay your way.
Look, that works for some people. And if that's what you want out of life, wonderful. But you can't do that to your fucking kids. You can't decide what their future's going to be. That's terrible.
Well, yeah. And then there were, that psychologist, he's like really, I think his name's like Parker Dietz or whatever. You've seen him a lot. If you watch any kind of true crime, you would recognize him. But he lays the groundwork because he diagnoses her with narcissistic personality disorder. And he says,
the mom?
No, the Betty. In that,
okay.
In that he says it stems from her childhood, in that she never like learned how to take care of herself emotionally. She relied on like her parents, her maid, or her husband. Like, she didn't learn how to take care of herself and her own problems. So
I'm going to throw something out there, and this might get me in trouble, but don't have kids if you are not ready for them to be fully formed human beings with their own thoughts, opinions. They can make their own decisions about what they want their life and their future to be like. They're not carbon copies of you. So if that's what you want out of a child, you're going to be disappointed, and or you're going to severely damage that child.
But
so
this
just
is also like, considering the time, like, she was born in 47, so she grew up like Leave It to Beaver 50s where like that wasn't so like uncommon that like
yeah that was everybody's options at
everybody was like that, but they shouldn't have been.
Yeah
true.
So like in 1965 Betty attends this party and she sees this kind of dorky guy with glasses at the party who writes his number down on a napkin and is like he's Dan Broderick, MDA. And he told her that the MDA stood for medical doctor almost. And she was like, he's kind of like dorky, but he told all of his friends that night, like, that's the woman I'm going to marry. Because Betty was a mother effing stunner back in the day. She's 5'10", blonde, gorge. She was like, she could have had any guy. She dated a lot of athletes and stuff. And Dan was kind of on the shorter side and, you know, kind of dorky and stuff. But he was persistent and he won her over. And I guess...
Well, and he's a doctor.
Almost. So...
Almost.
What clinched it for Betty is on their first date, he put so much thought and planning and effort into it that's what won her over.
What'd we say?
Yeah.
C boys.
So they get engaged and they get married in 1969, and their first few years of marriage are rough. Like, he's still in school. He's finishing medical school. And so Betty's having to work, and she got knocked up. They had their first kid within their first year of marriage.
He looks like Harry fucking Potter, by the way.
Yeah.
He's cute.
I think both
he's cute.
I think he's cute in that picture, yeah. But yeah, he so like she's working, she's pregnant, he's still in school, but it's like he's almost done with med school. So she can tough it out. However, he gets done with med school and he's like, "You know what? I don't really want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer." And so I'm going to go to Harvard Law School. And he's like, I'll make a lot more money if I can be a medical malpractice attorney.
I remember the details of this story now. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, here we go.
So she's like, all right, fine. So the next 3-4 years, she puts him through Harvard Law School. She works. They have 3 more kids. So she is expected to do, and this is somebody who grew up with maids, like never having to clean or do laundry or do any of this stuff. So she's a homemaker, she's the breadwinner, and she's a mom to 4 kids. She fucking hates it. She hates it. She's miserable, but this is the contract that she signed up for marriage. And she's like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. If I just get through this, we'll get the life that we want. And it happens. He graduates from Harvard Law and gets a job at this prestigious firm in San Diego. They move there and things are starting to happen. He rises up quick. He gets like bonuses and stuff, pays off his school loans. Things are now starting to look up. They finally,
motherfucker,
she gets to like leave her job and be a homemaker. And he's out there making that money, getting them into the country clubs, getting them lavish vacations, a boat, a freaking Colorado ski home, another really big home in like this ritzy neighborhood in San Diego. So like things are happening.
And this bitch is like nothing less than what I
exactly.
At this
She's
point.
like, I did my fucking time. Well, I earned this.
Here, okay, never mind. I'm going to refrain because I know where this is going.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Exactly. So he's like, things are good at this firm, but I think I can do better on my own. Start my own fucking firm. And she's like, yes, more money, do it. So he does. And he's hiring staff, and he hires a legal secretary named Linda Kolkina, who is a gorge 21-year-old.
And Betty was like, I'm sorry, you don't hire women at your firm. You don't remember that contract?
And she is just fresh-faced. She's 21. She's beautiful. She looks like Betty when she was 21. And she gets insecure about it. She's like, she remembers going to a party, like a work party, where he called Linda beautiful, and she saw the way that he looked at her and was like, oh my God, that's the way he looked at me. And so she starts getting really insecure about it. And he goes, you're crazy. Nothing is happening with us. Oh, you're being a psycho. Like gaslights her to the point where on her 36th birthday, she takes all the pills that are in their house and slashes her wrist, tries to commit suicide. The next day, he like wakes her up or whatever and like takes care of her and continues to say like, you're crazy. Nothing's happening. You need to get help.
Okay. So I'm crazy. Cool. But instead of making me feel better about this situation where you could simply just not call me crazy,
you could do anything to make me feel more secure. Like, there's no reason why she should be feeling this way in a relationship in the first place. If Anthony had a secretary who was 21 and good looking, I wouldn't feel threatened because I understand our relationship.
Yep.
He would never put me in a position where I would need to feel insecure about the situation. We would have conversations about it. So, hey, maybe try those things.
Yeah.
Maybe try working on your relationship with your wife instead of saying that she's insane for feeling insecure about the situation.
Yeah. So, and also they're in their 30s. So he's getting ready to turn 39 and he buys himself a flashy red Corvette. He's buying himself all these tailored suits and just like total like cliche midlife crisis shit. And she jokes
at 39, that's fucking early.
She jokes with him about it. You know, this is the freaking 80s, you know? And so they're like early 80s. They're doing it. He's fucking rich and he's starting to turn into like that. He gets himself a nose job.
It's one of those like Wolf of Wall Street douches.
Exactly. And so she makes these elaborate plans to go to his firm and surprise him on his 39th birthday. She comes with like flowers and a cake, and she gets into his office and she notices remnants of a chocolate cake that's been eaten, bottle of champagne that's empty with 2 champagne glasses, and him and his assistant are gone. And so his other secretary are like, oh no, he left for the day. So she sits there and waits until it gets dark and realizes he's not coming back to the office, goes home, takes all of his tailored suits out of the closet, takes them to the backyard and waiting to
set something.
Waiting to exhale. Amen. Dude, light that match and walk away.
So that's what she did. She burned all of it. Next day, and Dan comes home and sees the ashes in the yard. He doesn't say anything. He just orders more suits. So that's where this fucking relationship is at this point. It takes a couple more years for it to finally break down. It's 1985. So they've been married since 69. That's 16 years. They have 4 kids together.
These poor kids, too, are just like sitting there watching their marriage, like their parents' marriage deteriorate, watching mom burn all of his fucking suits.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, it's so traumatizing. And having to watch that and just be in a household like that, no bueno. So 1985, Dan finally cracks. He's like, I am leaving you. And the dynamic in the relationship previously had been like, if they got into arguments, Betty would always threaten to divorce Dan. And so this infuriates her more, where she's like,
You're leaving me, you Harry Potter looking motherfucker?
Exactly.
Seriously? Yeah. I regret saying he was cute. I do think he was cute in that picture, but
so he's like, okay, yeah, I'm leaving you. And I'm not going to talk to you about it. I'm not talking about it if you want to say something to me, tell it to my fucking lawyer. And she's like, she just wants to talk to him. She's like so angry and gets even angrier because he will not pick up the phone. He won't talk to her. And then she finds out he's sold their house underneath her, which he found a legal loophole where he was able to do that. And he sold their house out from under her and wouldn't talk to her about it. So she gets in her fucking Chevy Silverado.
What a fucking psychopath. Like, to do that to someone you were married to, the mother of your children. Like, you can have whatever disagreements that you have within your relationship. You can choose to end your relationship. All of that shit is fine. But, like, how do you not have any amount of empathy or humanity for somebody you've been married to for this long?
Right. And, oh, by the way, he moved in with Linda. They have a new house together. So, like, Betty's suspicions were, of course, correct that he was fucking Linda the whole time, moved in with her. And so when she finds out about the sale to her house, she fucking gets in her fucking big ass car and rams it right into the living room of their fucking house. Now, because he won't pick up the phone, he won't talk to her, and she just goes crazier. And the fucked up thing was, throughout this whole thing, she's like, he won't talk to me. Well, he'll have to talk to me if he has the kids. And then he'll appreciate how hard I've worked when he has to take care of these damn kids. And she says it's the biggest mistake that she made, because once he had the kids, he was like, great, and used them like as pawns and been like, I won't give them back. So it's fucked up. She's lucky that she didn't hurt one of her fucking kids when she went fucking banana sandwich and drove into the house.
Shit.
No one was hurt, but she was arrested and put in a mental health facility for 3 days after that.
Dude, this is what gaslighting will do to you.
Yeah, I mean, look, not trying to defend Betty here, but like, this is the poster child for like, women aren't crazy, you made us crazy.
Exactly.
This is gaslight torture. This is like fucking torture.
You played psychological games with me for fucking decades, and this is the result.
Now you're surprised.
Exactly. Yeah. Because and we'll talk about it when it's done, because we ain't even there yet. So what follows next is Broderick versus Broderick, one of the most talked about divorces in California. It goes on and it is acrimonious. I mean, at this point, Dan Broderick was the head of the San Diego Bar Association. He had connections. Their judge in the divorce was somebody that he was friends with, which tell me how the fuck
that doesn't seem like you should be allowed to do that. Yeah, that seems like a conflict of interest.
So this divorce, Betty gets a lot of shit because her spousal agreement was $16,100 a month. And she's like, that's not even 20% of his income, and that's not what I'm fucking owed, because of like how many years I spent with him, and I fucking worked my ass off for the first 5 years of our marriage to get, and you wouldn't be fuck all if I hadn't done that.
Exactly. Here's the thing, okay? Because we can look at that and say $16,000 a month is a lot of money. Okay, it's a ton of money,
but it's not in this.
And at that point,
it's not what her what is that? What, like, cost of living? It's not the way that she's used to living now, for the past.
Right, which I understand. I could see the argument, though, being like $16,000 a month to get out of this like horrific marriage, just take it and walk away. However, on principle, there is an undervaluing of the labor that women are expected to do in relationships, not only emotional labor, as far as like having to be in charge of the household and the children, but also she worked her ass off to put her husband through school.
Through med school
absolutely
and law school.
Exactly. And she is owed something for that.
Exactly.
Because he would not be, and this is the thing, I do remember this case opening up that conversation, to have that conversation, because this was a thing that happened a lot, I feel like, in the 80s and 90s. You had your, quote, starter wife, right? You have it's like the First Wives Club, right? You have your first wife, and she's the wife who bears your children and helps you through all the difficult times. And then when she ages out, you get your new wife.
Yep. And this is the case that really opened, because this is before First Wives Club, Waiting to Exhale. This is before, Goodbye Earl by the Dixie Chicks. When in the 90s, women did start fucking, because this shit happened in the 80s. And, of course, goes crazy, but it was everywhere in the late 80s. And I didn't even realize until I was watching a lot of the YouTube clips and stuff. I'm like, oh, I fucking remember that. In fucking Ohio, I recognized her face and her voice. And I was like, I've seen this news clip. I know I have. So,
right. And she can seem unhinged. And yeah, like a lot of the stuff she did / will do is fucked up, and we can't defend that stuff. However, she started a really important conversation that I feel like we needed to have as a people, because it's fucked up. You can't treat people like that.
Her anger, and I'll save it for my breakdown, but her anger builds. It just builds because she feels it's not fucking fair. And also, like, all she wants to do is talk to Dan and work it out. Not even their marriage at this point, which she has given up on, but she wants to sit and have a fucking adult conversation where it's not through lawyers or whatever, where they can sit and say, like, what's fair? You know what I mean? She wants to plead her case to him and not have this whole, like, lawyer thing, but he will not.
Well, and that's part of it, too. If he had just talked to her in the beginning, it never would have gotten to that point. You know what I mean? Because they probably could have come to an understanding if he could have been reasonable.
But the thing, the thing is that, like, all of a sudden she starts getting free samples for weight loss stuff and wrinkle cream, and gets pictures in the mail, supposedly from Linda Kolkina, of like her with her kids saying, "Eat your heart out, bitch." So I'm like, now you're throwing gasoline on the fire, because that to me, I'm just like, first of all, women like Linda, I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, spoiler alert, but you're going to come in and you're going to snake someone else's man, and then you're going to fucking throw gas on the fire like that. Wow. That's fucked up in a way that, I'm sorry, that's low. That's
right.
Low.
Well, it's also, because typically, look, Dan is the person who wrecked his marriage. Like, Linda, of course, it's awful. Dan is the person who wrecked his marriage. However, like, Linda, to do that to another woman, to have no empathy, because it's something that we as women realize, especially back in the 80s. I feel like we're moving away from it a little bit now, where we can embrace getting older and embrace aging, and, but all of us women have experienced this, like, fear of getting older, and especially at that time, and Betty in particular during that time, and the way that she was brought up, her value was in her beauty, right? Really, like her ability to get a husband, and she, she
becomes so unhinged in that first year of separation that she gained 60 pounds, and her usually, like, coiffed and expensive appearance really, like, fell away. So not only is she feeling insecure because she doesn't know who the fuck she is without Dan, her status as Dan's wife was her fucking personality, and now she has none. And furthermore, she's being egged on, where Dan is telling everyone in their circle who will listen that she's crazy. And then you have his
right. So she's really
his new girlfriend egging her on.
Right. She's a woman who's backed up against a wall, right? She's lost her identity, her children, her husband, her lifestyle, her friends.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Everything. And so she keeps leaving, like, messages on the machine. Like, she calls him, like, hey, fuckhead and the cunt. And which they record and they use against her in court. Course. And so I feel like
she really needed a friend to tell her, hey, don't do that.
Exactly. It's I feel like Dan and Linda had this whole thing of egging her on to make her look crazy so that they could,
of course,
not get out of paying her.
All part of the scheme.
Exactly. So it was all part of the scheme. She's leaving messages. She just wants to talk to him. She just wants to try to fucking work this out. Well, finally, there's like this note that his lawyer sends her about something about the custody agreement, or like, hey, we're going to, she wanted to take the youngest kids to go trick-or-treating, and this lawyer sends her a thing like, no, we decided no. And so she stays up all fucking night, just pissed, can't do anything about it, can't yell at Dan, just that rage boils over and she can't get to sleep.
Oh, so that's the worst place. I think everyone's been in that place
where you're just so angry and you have no recourse,
outlet,
outlet, nobody. Yep. So she gets into her car. She drives over to Dan and Linda's new house. She uses her daughter's keys to get in, goes up there, goes to their master bedroom, which, by the way, the cover that they have on their bed is their marital cover.
No.
And I'm like, so Linda rustles and goes, call the police. And that's when Betty shoots 5 times. She shoots Linda in the chest and the back of the head, and shoots Dan and then misses twice. Dan goes, okay, you got me. And goes to reach towards the phone, and Betty calmly walks over and pulls the phone cord out.
Yes, sir, you think this is a game?
And then walks away, drives off. Later that day, of course, their bodies are found, and Betty turns herself in to the police. She doesn't deny shooting them. She doesn't really remember the shooting, but she's like, it was self-defense. I've been abused for too long. I couldn't take it anymore. Like, this is where I'm at. And
I believe that's true, but that's not how self-defense works in court.
No.
You can't just drive over to somebody's house.
It's not. But their first trial, it turns into a media circus. Court TV runs the whole thing. In the first trial, 2 of the jurors were like, we're not going to convict her. We're stuck. So
they're like, Dan is such an asshole. Mm-hmm. that even though this obvious premeditated murder, we can't do it.
She was up for 1st-degree murder, and 2 of the jurors were like, we won't do anything but manslaughter. Like, that's where we're at.
Wow.
And so
imagine being that much of a dick.
Yeah.
That a jury is just like, I mean, we dislike him so much that we are not willing to convict.
And I actually happened upon a blog from San Diego from that time, where a bunch of people that had worked with Dan and Linda and knew Betty and knew the situation and are in the comments, and it is spicy because
share.
They were all here. I'm getting it up right now because I was like, no shit.
This is my favorite shit.
I love it.
We know
what you mean.
They dump on Dan and Linda. They say that they were terrible people, and that, and just like everybody. It's mostly like women commenting, but basically saying they had it coming. They had it coming 100.
Wow.
Don't feel bad whatsoever.
Well, okay, here's the thing. People lost their lives. These children were put through an incredibly traumatic experience. I'm absolutely not saying that any of that is okay. What I am saying is, how did they expect this to end? What did they expect to happen?
Right.
There was no way this could have had, and maybe they, didn't expect her to come in and shoot them, but what kind of ending did you think was...
I think that Dan and Linda had to feel, we're going to drive her so crazy that she's going to end up in the home, and we're not going to have to pay for anything, and we're going to have these kids, and we're going to live happily ever
I think
after.
Maybe they were pushing her to kill herself, because I'm just like, what other, there was no way this could have ended positively.
And the other tea that I found out from this blog was that Linda was still sleeping with her ex-boyfriend. Confirmed all the way up 3 weeks before her wedding to Dan. So she...
Oh, shit.
So even though people call her all kinds of fucking names like gold digger and all this shit because she was, 21. Dan was like 44 or something at this time. And they were like, she's just using him for his money. She's like, no, really love him. Like blah, 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 blah. And then come to find out she was fucking her ex-boyfriend.
I love him, but I love this other guy's dick more, basically.
Yep. Okay. I love his money. And
but I love his dick.
Exactly. So yeah, she gets off after the first trial. She's still in jail. They go through the second trial. Same trial, pretty much, but this jury sees it differently. They don't do first degree murder though. They do second degree. However, the judge, instead of making her sentence run like concurrent, he does 15 years to life for both of and she has to do both of them. So she has to at least serve 18 years before parole. So 19 years she does in prison and she cuts up for parole. She ain't sorry one fucking bit. And they're like, well, then you ain't getting out. And then they try to parole her again. A couple years later, she's like, still ain't sorry. And they're like, all right. And so her next parole opportunity is 2032 when she'll be like in her 80s. Like she's going to spend the rest of her life in jail. And here's what is so...
And she's going to be 80 years old and be like...
She's stubborn as fuck.
Fucking do it again.
She's stubborn.
I'd do it again.
Still so angry. And that, to me, is the real tragedy of this story is that... At the end of the day, she ruined her own life. It is so tough to feel wronged by somebody or feel like there is injustice in the world. We all feel a little bit of that every single day. There have been people who have fucked me over big time. And what does it serve me by holding on to that anger or hate towards them or having to get back?
It serves you nothing.
Serve me anything. Do you think
that's the problem?
If I had $16,000 a month to live on, maybe it wasn't as great as the life I got to live, but I'm out of a shitty marriage.
That's exactly.
I get the
that's
opportunity.
exactly it.
She's 30 fucking
and
7.
I understand. Right. I understand the feeling of injustice because truly she was wrong. I'm going to say it. I think she was wronged by her parents. I think that they set her up to be in a position where she had no fucking recourse as an adult woman. They didn't give her the option to have an education, to decide what she wanted to do for herself, her own career. And so it did leave her in a really shitty position where she had to rely on her husband for her lifestyle. That's unfair. The way that she was treated by her husband and this other woman, that's unfair. And I can totally understand clinging to that injustice because it would suck. But at the same time, $16,000 a month is more than most people could ever dream of acquiring.
Right.
Ever dream of acquiring. I know families with children in the Midwest who make $20,000 to $30,000
a year.
A year.
Yeah, a year.
So,
a year, not a month.
So the thing is, I understand it and I understand how unjust it is, but truly, if she had just taken it at that point, it would have saved her and her children so much pain.
Yeah. And that's...
And 2 lives. The thing of it is, though, is to the point that you're saying, Christina, at some point, you have to, like, take your own life into your hands, which is that, you know what? Shit happens. Everybody's got a story and everybody's had people shit on them and everybody's had, but if you live in this cycle of anger and animosity and there is no consequence to the person who's wronged you. They don't give a shit.
Well,
they don't give a shit, which I guess is why, well, I guess until you get to the point where you actually physically harm them or murder them or whatever, but it serves you no good to live in this place. And the only person it hurts in the long run, in the long term, is yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, I had to do a lot of anger work in therapy because anger, and you guys might understand this as women, anger is not something that we're really taught how to feel and how to express as women. And it is a natural emotion. No emotion is bad. It's actions that are bad or good. But learning how to feel anger, express it, and let it go were a big part of like the 2 years of work that I did in therapy, where it is okay to feel angry, but you got to let it go. You can't, it's like she just let that eat her alive.
Mm-hmm.
And just like she could not let it go. Once she brought it in, she couldn't get rid of it.
It's also why it's so important to have friends, which is a consistent theme here from Cassie's story. But she clearly didn't have anybody. Like, if you had someone you could turn to or vent to, or a therapist or somebody, like someone you could talk to, because I'll be honest, like if I'm left alone with my thoughts about like how somebody has wronged me, I will replay that over and over. I will take my make-believe shower time.
Oh, yes.
And I will replay those conversations on a loop.
And the actions that you're going to take,
exactly.
you're going to be replayed in that shower time.
Exactly.
Right.
And so I'm just like, God, man, if you're feeling those feelings, find somebody you can talk to, find someone you can turn to, because that's what you need. You need somebody to give you some fucking perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, she could have taken the second chapter of her life and like made a choice to be happy. She had every opportunity.
Honey, $16,000 a month. Go move back in with your parents for a little while. Go back to school. Figure out what you want to do and create something amazing for yourself.
Exactly. And it's not like their marriage was happy anyways, so it's like take that as a win. But she looked at it as a loss. Go find somebody who
loves you.
Yeah.
There's 7 billion people on this earth. Somebody is going to treat you like a queen, okay?
Yeah. Well, guess what the loss is now? The loss is your fucking kid.
Because
that's the loss.
That is the loss, because 2 of her kids don't fucking talk to her, and two do. So it's split up the family. The youngest 2 kids were forced to live with random ass relatives, like their dad's brother's estranged wife raised the 2. Exactly. It's so weird.
Wow.
So, and then, they finally, like when they got to be like 15 or 16, they were like, can we please live with, so-and-so that we know? Like one of them, I think, went with the mom's grandparents or whatever, and another one went to like a friend's house and basically like finished school there. It was like, I don't want to live with random Aunt Kathy anymore.
Yes.
Right.
Not my real aunt.
Dude, that would so be
Uncle
me.
Ray's
I'd be like, can I
weird
please
wife.
with my friend? Can my friend's family take me in for a bit? Just like a year. I have a year left. I'm just gonna stay here.
So that is my telling of Betty Broderick. Angry Betty Broderick.
I mean, I get the anger.
Wow.
I really do.
It's
really hard not to feel for her.
To that whole podcast,
I was actually thinking the same thing.
When they really stretch it out like a series podcast. And I think because there were so many women that identified with Betty. There were so many people that were like, I completely get why she did it.
I don't know if anything makes me more furious than injustice, than feeling like I've been wronged and that there is no justice. Because I feel like, I was raised in the optimism of the 90s where we were told, like, if you do good things will come to you. And so it makes me really, I can totally see why people would relate to her being as mad as she was,
right.
But you're absolutely right. At that point, you got to get some perspective and let that shit go, because she ruined her life. She's spending the rest of her life in prison.
Yeah. So what are you guys watching this week?
Well, I started The Great on Hulu.
Oh, I want to watch that. It
looks
I
so
really like it. Yeah, I really like it. And I was telling Cassie the other day that like Elle Fanning is oftentimes like hit or miss for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I think she's a little boring. I don't know. I'm just more of a Dakota girl myself. But she's really good in this. It's very silly. But
it's done by the
funny.
same people that did The Favorite, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
Great. The costumes are great. It fills that void that Harlot's left behind for me.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it. I think Nicholas Hoult is so fucking cute, even though he's such a piece of shit in this series. But yeah.
Right, not in real life.
I don't know. Maybe he is a piece of shit in real life. Who knows? But yeah.
We've been watching Legion, which is great. I watched the first season years ago when it like came out, and he had never watched it, so we started watching it. It's really good. I forgot how much I enjoyed it. So yeah, if you're looking for like a fun, well, it's not really even fun, a really dark, twisty comic kind of thing.
Interesting. What studio or like what service is it on?
What is it on? I have no idea. I don't remember now.
I'll look into it
together now.
It was on like USA or something, I think, originally, but I think you can find it on.
And Noah Hawley did it. He's the guy. Oh my God, what else did he do that we all loved? Anyways, it's really good. It's dark.
Okay, I'm gonna
Aubrey
give
Plaza
it a watch.
is in it.
Oh, and I love her to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it was a little too obscure and dark for me. Chris loved it, and he watched the entire 3 seasons. But I'm kind of like,
I dig obscure and dark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also,
it might be you might.
Anthony
like
and I have been rewatching all the Lord of the Rings movies. So that's what we're doing with our quarantine.
Nice.
Oh man, it's been
also not for
ride.
Me. Nice.
A long.
Man, they are long. We have yet to get through one in a single night. Like we break
falls
them up
asleep
because holy shit, 3 hours is a long movie, y'all. Like,
man, I have been okay. So we're still watching House, of course. That's our nighttime go-to. The thing that I've had, because what I've really been doing, of course, is crocheting my life together. And recently it's been coasters, regular coasters and cute cat
the cat coasters are
so,
cute.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, everybody's getting coasters.
Nice. Just sitting here waiting for you to open your Etsy store. Like, chop, chop, bitch.
That's right. So while I'm doing that, the thing that I've been watching, and I'm not proud of myself, I'm going to say it. It's watching The Good Witch. And
no shame.
It's terrible.
There's no shame in that.
Oh, it's
the what?
It's not good. It's exactly what you think it's going to be. It is the Lifetime version of. And here's the thing. Her witchiness is so like, I'm a witch. That I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the most
basic
lame.
Bitch witch.
Oh, the most basic bitch witch. She has like a live, laugh witch
on
her.
Honey.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
no.
It's that.
She's a home goods
she doesn't.
witch. Great.
She is.
But you know what? I'll watch the shit out of that stuff. I think that there's something so comforting about like a Lifetime shit like that. It's like predictable.
Charmed.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, the girl that plays the daughter is so adorable though. She is so cute. And I mean, she's older, but I remember her from like movies and stuff when she was younger. She's so adorable. It's exactly what you expect it to be for crocheting time. It's, you know.
I like it.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
If you guys have stuff that you want us to watch, or another shout out to the person that was like, hey, have you done this story yet? You were a lifesaver. Do that, please. Just reach out, say hello. You have a story, you have anything for us, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. And we love you so much. Cheers.
Cheers.